There's something I've been wondering for a long fucking time now. Why is Milo Yiannopoulos considered a free speech advocate? Why is he considered the poster boy of free speech? One could argue that he says unapologetic, douchebag, blunt, quote unquote, things. That he doesn't care about how he says things, as long as the message is clear. Now, I find this very interesting coming from this man. I mean, you can look this up very easily. And, Milo, I'm surprised you haven't asked these sites to take this down. Is turning us all into sociopaths. Here we go. Daily Dot Yiannopoulos. And everyone's reported on this. And it's quite interesting to me that you don't rebuke this, that no one who has confronted you just calls you out on this, Milo. Milo, you come to my college, I'll be happy to call you out on your bullshit. So let me get this straight. You only care about free speech, right? You only care about the principle of free speech when it's convenient to your ideology. When it's convenient to you. You don't actually care about the principle of it, right? What you did to Leslie Jones could be considered libel. You posted fake anti-Semitic and racist comments that she never made. Of course Twitter is gonna ban you if you commit libel. Oh, well, I deleted them, right? Fuck's sake, man. You work for a goddamn newspaper. This is just rich to me, in all honesty, man. Last part of the article everyone's been talking about. Everyone who talked about this a month ago, but I think it's important to some of my audience members who actually respect this guy. Now look, I started to be fooled by this suave British Republican schmuck. Okay, I started to be interested. Oh wow, this guy makes some interesting points. But then I started to wonder why. Because he phrases shit very well. How he acts like being the internet troll is a perfect facade. How he acts like it's a necessary evil. Which, perhaps it can be, and perhaps it can't. There have been several occasions when internet trolls have ruined, one example, where an internet troll has ruined someone's life. Chris Chan, although one could argue that Chris Chan was too far gone, that the trolls just were the last part of his descent into lunacy, or becoming trans. Well, let me paraphrase this. Being trans is not the same as what Chris Chan went through. Although, I do feel bad for the guy to some extent. Actually, I legitimately feel bad for the guy because he's a fucking man-child. But let's get on to what Milo Yiannopoulos said back in 2012 about the internet turning us all into sociopaths. In the last paragraph of the freaking article. So perhaps what's needed now is a bolder form of censor. After all, because the internet is not a universal human right, if people cannot be trusted to treat one another with respect and dignity and consideration, perhaps they deserve to have their online freedoms curtailed. For sure, the best we could ever hope for is a smattering of unpopular show trials. But if the internet, ubiquitous as it now is, proves too dangerous in the hands of the psychologically fragile, perhaps access to it ought to be restricted. We ban drunks from driving because they're a danger to others. Isn't it time we did the same to trolls? Oh my god! Oh my fucking god! Oh, baby! Oh, what the fuck kind of hypocrisy is that? That is Trump levels of bullshit. That's like Trump trying to move away from the fact that he benefits from free trade and shit. Like, oh my fucking god. Why don't we play a clip of what Milo Yiannopoulos said about internet trolls and about not regretting what he said?
With my name calling and with my provocation and with my bad manners, I think actually America's had enough of nice manners. If my rudeness creates conversation, my rudeness provokes people into, first of all, saying, oh, what a monster, blah, 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 and then 20% of people start talking about what I was actually saying, I will consider my career to have been a terrific success.
But Milo, again, you said, if people cannot be trusted to treat one another with respect, dignity, and consideration, perhaps they deserve to have their online... Now who's playing the role of the censor? Now who's playing the role of the totalitarian? Who's playing the role of Big Brother? Who's offering himself to be the great censor? The quote-unquote poster boy for free speech, Milo Yiannopoulos, back in 2012. Now, a few months ago, I actually tried to do an interview request for Milo Yiannopoulos. Never got it back, probably because it's such a small YouTube channel and no one gives a shit about what I have to say. But nevertheless, at the end of the day, oh god, this is right. What's disturbing about this new trend in which commenters are posting what could previously have been left anonymously is that these trolls seem not to mind their real names, and sometimes even their occupations appear clammed to their vile words. It's as if a psychological norm is being established, whereby comments left online are part of a video game and not real life. It's as if we've all forgotten that there's a real person on the other end. It's as if we've all forgotten that there's a real person on the other end. So you're trying to talk about empathy here, right? Right? Beautiful, right? I agree with that. But nevertheless, I wouldn't resort to censoring one's right to freedom of speech. Milo, why doesn't anyone just call you out on this? Seriously, after all the fucking college campuses that you've appeared at, you would think someone would be like, Control P, print out, get a fucking highlighter, highlight this, go to your Q&A, wait patiently, and be like, Milo, could you please respond to this comment in your article? The internet is turning us into sociopaths, specifically these paragraphs here and here. And it's question A, do you either stand by what you say, because this proves that you are being a huge hypocrite, or B, that you reject and you regret writing said article? Because if you said, well, in all honesty, in the past 4 years, my opinion has changed on this matter, and I no longer agree with what I wrote all these years ago. Like every person, you could say, a person's point of view evolves, and 4 years is quite a long time for someone's opinions to evolve. Easy. I just did that for you. I just created the perfect response for you. If someone called you out, you give people articles on how to kick your ass, right? Well, here I am trying to help you out, bro. I'm trying to help a brother out right now, huh? I'm trying to help you out, mate. Go on to YouTube. Do a simple webcam video. It doesn't have to be the most professional thing ever. It can just simply be you going on a freaking laptop and saying, look, there's something I've been regretting for many years now. But here's the thing I'm wondering, Milo. Are you too much of a prideful schmuck to admit when you're wrong, to take back the things that you said? I have been willing to make videos where I say, hey, I was wrong about video X. Now, why do I keep it up there? Well, frankly, I like the view count. So maybe you could be doing this from the analytics. Here's a broader question. Of all the articles that you've written that have been shared through the years, right? Now, one of the biggest shares of your work is a Alpha Omega Sin. He's one of my favorite YouTubers. I haven't actually watched some of his content in a while because I started to really look into you, Milo, and I started to really analyze who you are as a person. And that's kind of, well, I don't want to say anything bad about Alpha because overall there are points where I think he seems like a mensch and he seems like someone who I would love to have a conversation with. But Milo, if you're a freedom of speech absolutist, like me, dude, I posted a video where I said I'm in favor of flag burning. I said I don't care what the fucking flag is. I'll get offended, I'll get a little triggered, but you know what? As long as you're practicing your First Amendment right, I don't give a fuck. So one of the things I have a question for Milo is that if you're a decent man who has any ounce of integrity, make a fucking video explaining yourself. Hell, go to a college Q&A and explain yourself if you haven't already. I would love to hear it from you. Milo, we all got skeletons in our closet at the end of the day. We all got things on the internet that we regret posting. Some of us have the integrity to confront it. Why don't you? This is Darth Boy. Live long and prosper, and have a nice day.